So, welcome back, Guardians. First thing off, I want to ask you a question. Do you see a spark anywhere? I don't see the icon for the spark. If the spark's not being picked up, there should be an icon for the spark. We're in the first round, which is a 9-minute round, and there's 2.5 minutes left, and there says a spark's available, but no one's picked it up, no one's been able to dunk, and all we've been doing is playing Clash here for the last, 7 minutes? And it is just, this is dragging on. Um, I'm on my second run through the reputation ranks, and I'm just doing it so that I can get Krimil's dedication. Can't do anything about this until the next Iron Banner comes up, and I don't think I'm going to be getting much progress in this. I don't expect to get the seal. I don't expect to get the title. I'm actually really not pursuing the title. What I'm really going to go for is loot. Playing for the same reasons why I always play. I want to shoot things in first person in a shared world to get loot. And so far, the loot's been pretty shit. Just gotta say. uh, that's a nice roll and everything like that, and I do favor demolitionists these days, but this is still a better gun. Um, I don't really play snipers, but you know what? Feeding Frenzy and High Impact Reserves is kind of okay in PvE. I do want the retrace path. Um, Yeah, ranking up the Iron Banner is probably about the only thing I want to do at this point. And honestly, in this particular situation, that's kind of like we're just getting kills, and it's like it's not even Iron Banner anymore. Now it's Clash. I'm like, I don't know why this is happening. This and the uh, transmat spam, which seems to happen when. Uh, it happens at very inopportune times. Um, I have this like conspiracy theory. Well, back it all up. Talked about it before. Just a refresher. I had this one theory way back in early Destiny when I was playing a lot. And anytime you do something a lot and you're paying attention to the meta, not necessarily what builds are powerful and stuff like that. I'm not talking like that kind of meta. I'm talking about the mechanics of the game, the way things pattern out. You're paying attention to that meta, the metaverse of the game. I noticed that there was a certain pattern that was going on that some of us were getting better guns than others in certain activities. Like I was exceptionally lucky with Vex Mythoclast and Vault of Glass in the early one. In fact, it was like 1 out of 3 runs through the Vault of Glass, I'd get a Mythoclast, whereas I would be playing with people for at least a good dozen or two runs and they had yet to get a Vex Mythoclast. Yet they were spamming. Oh, there we go. We finally got a Rift. Yet they were spamming Hezid Vengeance, and I had not gotten a Hezid Vengeance, and all the time I played Vault, which was a lot, um, I hadn't gotten a Hezid Vengeance until like almost the last month of Destiny 1 before Destiny 2 launched, and that was just insane. And I, when my close fire team, the guys I played with the most, they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we noticed that, dude. I think you're right. I think there is a luck stat, or your perk pools are weighted based on. I should be able to do this. There we go. All right, let's see what we got. See what kind of progress that put on me. Went from 8 to 14. That's a +6, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe not too hard. But I don't want to be a rift hog. I don't really want to do that. Bizarre. Oh, when we got the what? Did we win? I guess we won. That was that was a weird match. So okay, so first I had my first pass. I don't want to be part of that lobby. My first pass on the theory was that I think that if you that there are you have legendaries and exotics, you have armor and you have weapons. Um, And I think that some people were really lucky getting good stat rolls on armor. At the time, we didn't know too much about stat rolls, or we weren't paying too much attention to it. But the gist was that, if you were playing a classic D&D game, you had the Wandering Monster table. But let's say, for instance, your character was blessed by the gods. So, if you rolled like, say, for instance, it goes from like 1 to 20 on the Wandering Monster table, which is a lot. But the higher up the number goes, the more difficult the monsters are. So, being blessed by the gods, if your character, if the DM was rolling a Wandering Monster based upon your character's interactions, say it was like -5 to the roll, that's the kind of luck I was thinking that was happening in the game. Like, if there was a chance that you could get an exotic doing a world activity, I got the exotic. I could go into a strike, and like the first third of the strike, I got an exotic. It might not have been something I wanted. It might not have been something that was rolled really well, but I got an exotic. And my fire team was all the time says, "Dude, I don't understand that you just waltz into the zone and you get an exotic." I says, "Yeah, yeah, but yet I can go ahead and grind raids and get shit rolls on all my guns, and you guys are also all the time getting fantastic gun rolls." And then when I started playing more PvP, I started noticing it too. Like, my son, if he goes in by himself and he's going freelance, he will lobby with really, really sweaty players, and they will sweep the match. Whereas if I go in by myself and freelance, I will get lobbied against really, really sweaty players, and I will get my ass swept. And it's not just because I don't consider myself a really good PvP player, because I'm not. There's a lot about my Crucible play that I can improve and grow as a skill set. And at one point, I was making lots of progress, and then Bungie said, "No more skill-based matchmaking." So I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then all kinds of things changed in the matchmaking. Now I think it's like so. So that I said, so you have a luck pool in lobbying as well. I mean, haven't you ever noticed how, like, for like 3 or 4 days you're playing in a row, and the first 2 3 days, you're getting these really great activities. You do the strikes, and it's like, wow, the strikes went by really, really fast. You do the Nightfall, you get platinum rewards. You do a legendary Lost Sector, and you just breeze right past it. And it's regardless of what character class you're playing on. This is just, the activity in a sense. You do the raid, you finally get the weapon that you're going for, and then on the last day, everything stops. Everything goes south. You're struggling in Crucible, you're struggling in Vanguard, you're struggling in Gambit, you're struggling on planets, um, and you're just kind of like, I don't get it. That next time that happens, take a look at what titles or triumphs you're closest to versus the activities you are. If you can guesstimate that you're within about 3 to 4 activities of getting a certain achievement, cool off. Take a break from it. Go do something else. I'm telling you that it's going to handicap you. The game is going to fucking slow you down in some way or another because they want you playing as much as possible. And I think that the algorithm right now isn't looking at your player skill. It isn't looking at your inventory. It isn't looking at your power levels or your character classes or your subclasses or anything else. It's looking at how you engage in the game. What activities are you playing the most? And then it's lobbying you or pairing you up with players of that similar activity level. In other words, if you're a casual, lazy player like I am for the most part, and you spend most of your time doing patrols in lost sectors to do gunsmith bounties and just like casually grind the strike list um, for random loot, then you're going to get lobbied with people like that. Um, and I know it sounds weird because this is kind of like like pairs with like, as opposed to opposites attract. Like helps like. It's kind of like the idea that people born into wealth will almost always maintain that wealth or grow that wealth as long as they stay around wealthy people. The moment they start hanging around not so wealthy people, that wealth disappears. And it's weird. It's like, I remember this one. I don't know if it was a TV show or a movie or it was just conversation with some goofy friends. But a comment came around. I think it was a I think it was a TV show. Somebody said it was a girl. She said something like, Oh, I don't want to go to that party. I might catch poor. And I'm like, wow. I think it was one of those like, oh God, one of those comedy films that came out in the '90s where they were parodying all those other movies, like Scary Movie, or something like that. But in any case, so yeah, I have this evolved theory now that I think the game is matching you on activities. It's activity-based matchmaking. So if you feel like you want to, if you want to be put in the lobby with, to be blunt, the winners, then you need to do activities that winners do. In other words, if you're not going to invest the hours in playing a raid or doing trials every weekend and or doing glory based matches, like for instance, I bet you I bet if I went in today, being Sunday, and I did all the glory based, um, well, this is the only glory survival. If I played this, if I completed these challenges here, these 7 wins challenges, and then went back into a random lobby of freelance Iron Banner, or even just the standard Iron Banner, I bet the next 3 games in Iron Banner I would win. It is not because I trained my. It wouldn't be because my combat skills got trained up by playing 3v3, survival. It would just be because the game sees that as my interest and it's like, oh, he wants to play with the Sweat Lords, so we're going to play him with the Sweat Lords, as opposed to, oh, he's just kind of, where is it, Rumble. Oh, he wants to be a lone wolf, so we're going to put him with the lone wolves. Oh, he just wants to have a relaxing, casual time, so we're going to pair him with the casuals. But guess who we're going to be fighting? All the Sweat Lords, because the Sweat Lords need to be shown that it's okay, and we support. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like what I used to say about free to play. Free to play exists for a few reasons. One, to boost the hours played in the game, because the only way an app service like Destiny, because it's no longer a product, it's a service. The only way an app service survives is if it could show its investors how many hours is being used. Not units downloaded, not software downloaded, not players registered. It's hours played. Bungie would rather have one person doing 500 hours than 15 people just doing 10 hours. Okay, seriously. Whereas with me being an artist, I would rather have the 15 customers buying $5 items all month long, every month, than having that one whale come in and buy everything but only once a year. You know, I don't want that. I want sustainability. I don't want you know quantity. I want quality. Anyway, so yeah, and that attitude I think also kind of filters into game design. That the best way to keep the hours playing is to deliberately handicap your players, slow them down, make sure the progress doesn't advance too quickly because human brains can get bored really easily. And honestly, I'm kind of like in the separate camp. I guess we're the outliers because the game's not designed for us. Where it's like if I'm held back too much, I just give up. Like when I was playing raids for a little while, I got held back a lot. I felt like I was being held back in progress. Like, why do we keep wiping? And the guys would be like, I don't know. We did this yesterday and everything was fine. Maybe it's just you. I says, okay, well then I'm going to try not to push myself out there, and I'm just going to do my best not to die. And I did. I did my best not to die. I helped where I could. I was put in the most low impact role possible, and we still couldn't fucking progress. And I was like, that's it. I'm thinking I'm just out of this. And that was years ago, and I haven't really touched the raid since. And as much as I would love to get a Vex Mythoclast, I don't think I'm ever going to do the Vault Glass. Not unless, my old fire team comes back and they're like, yeah, dude, for all times. I'll be like, yeah, fuck, for all times. And then it won't matter if I get the Vex or not. It'll just be playing with my friends from the early days. But yeah, so am I interested in getting the title? Do I want the title? Once upon a time, I was an Iron Banner friend and fan. Um, now, not so much. Not so much. On the inverse, we have here Dredgen, and yeah, as you can see, I've pretty much given no fucks for a Gambit this season, for the most part. Only because, like I said, a lot of it comes down to the fact that there just isn't any loot that entices me. And now that we have forged weapons, I'm playing to level these up and grow these into the perfect gun roll for myself. And of course, I'm farming activities to get patterns. Well, guess what? There are no patterns available in Iron Banner. Maybe that should be a thing. Maybe they should put patterns in Iron Banner that maybe people would actually have fun playing. Um, let's see, what did I get here? So at 114, right? Still. Anyway, so a lot of really incoherent. I don't do any scripts. Sorry, guys. I just come in and start chatting. But yeah, so if you're playing Iron Banner and you're going for your second reset, before, just to kind of get a little bit of a jump on things, I would seriously recommend that if you really truly are trying to get the title, um, get a fire team. I'm sorry, just get a fire team. Just get a fire team, and everybody takes turn being the Rift Runner and doing the best they can to funnel the opponent Rifter into your line of fire if you so everybody can get points. I think that's pretty much all I really want to share for the day. It's time for the gunsmith mounties, which you guys have seen me do dozens of times. So we're going to go ahead and say I'm going to stop it here. You made it this far. Thanks for stopping by. If you got a theory about my idea about activity based matchmaking in all things, and that players have uh, better luck on some loot tables than others. Yeah, so let me know what your experiences are with that and see what you think about it. And as usual, go have some fun.